works well. Let's spend a few minutes again on understanding how sound and video works, okay? Hello guys, hello again. Okay, so our today topic is smart home showroom and a little bit about demo case and how all this can boost your sales. This is our actually most important topic out of all webinars which we did before, because on this stage you make your client go away or stay with you and pay you money. So this is the most important stage when you showcase client something. So let's start and let's go to our plan. What do we do? First, we'll see who uses home automation showrooms nowadays. This is not only in stores. And then we'll go to typical problems. And then we will get to 3 levels of functionality of showrooms. They are different, and you can make either any of those. And then we go to atmosphere and what it is and how to create this, and then to technical backup, and then how to go to scenario and what kind of scenario to use when client really comes. And then we'll talk a little bit about Larnitech showroom kit and Larnitech demo case. So let's begin. What you can do is you can write comments. I will try to read it and I will try to answer it in the moment when you ask them. So who uses smart home showrooms nowadays? First, this is not only installers. Installers, they offer you showrooms sometimes, actually quite rarely. If you come to some kind of city, even quite big city, and ask yourself, like, what kind of smart home showrooms can I see? And you start searching, you will very rarely find something. Usually you will not find anything. So once you start to think where home automation is being used, you understand that mostly they are used in interior showrooms. So what you can really do is, as a smart home company, you can come to some kind of a designer company with interior showroom and offer them part of this showroom to be automated, and this will start bringing you clients. Another non-installer part of smart home showrooms is building developers. So building developers, they make showroom for each of their projects. And in each project, people can come and see what kind of apartments will be available, what kind of villas will be available, and so on. So once you see this kind of project, you will be able to offer them the home automation functionality as well. So this is another direction where you can move. And of course, in stores and system integrators, they have the most nice showrooms if they think of how to do them. So this is what our webinar is all about. But let's start from typical problems, like what could go wrong and why this usually goes wrong. So the first thing which is wrong about home automation when installer shows it to the client needs to see the lifestyle, but you show him just different technical elements. So a lot of installers, they have this problem. They show clients like smart panels, they show clients different devices. This device controls this, and this is how they connect. They imagine that it is very important for client to understand what kind of connection is between devices. This is not important. For client, lifestyle is important in his future apartment, in his future villa. So think about this, how to show him the lifestyle and not to put in front of this lifestyle different small elements which are really not important for him. And once you show that you can do only elements, he thinks that you cannot do the lifestyle at all. So why is it often not working? Why this approach of showing something to client often not working? First, you do not have atmosphere in the place where you show it to the client. So client comes to you as a normal person who is thinking about like how to spend less money, and then he goes away with the same attitude, how to spend less money. So if you have no atmosphere, this is the problem. Next one is you have two simple functions. For example, you show him like, of course you know how smart home works. What we have here is we can turn on light and everything else. Now let's go to your project. Okay, this is very typical situation, and you do not show him like the depth of home automation, like how much can it do right now. And this is a real problem for many installers. And then if you have technical issues, and almost everyone have technical issues, but many installers, they do not prepare for it, and they are like not working. Sorry, now we do not have like electricity, internet, and we just had a new setting, so sorry, let's move to a different one. So technical issues are very important, so you should show client that it really works in your showroom. And also, if you have no scenario of your presentation. So if you invite the client, if you have this nice venue where you can show many different things, but you just talk to client, like maybe shows him something, and then every time you do it differently. And then someone else does it, and he does it also differently. So all the time the outcome is not predictable. You cannot understand what will happen. So this is a really big mistake if you have no scenario of your meeting. And then you do not have a simple offer after this. So you show client everything is very well, so you don't do any other mistake, you have atmosphere, you have a lot of functions, you have no technical issues, and you have a nice scenario. But at the end, you do not give a client some kind of a simple offer. So client thinks, this is so complex, this will cost so much, I will never be able to afford it, so nice, but goodbye. So you will need to have a simple offer at the end. So if we go to the quantity of functions, there are 3 levels. So not to show client just light or just AC control, we need to go to different levels of functionality. So the first one, and the basic showroom which you should have, is like this. It can look like this first. There is a nice sofa where you will see together with client. because if you do not have sitting place in there, you will not have a good conversation with the client. So client should feel himself comfortable. So usually the sofa is being used. And then a big TV and some nice sound and AC. So also it is better to have some windows so you could show some motorization. And it is very nice to have some control elements on the table and on walls. So what are the functions of level 1? First, of course, lighting. To show lighting, you will need to show different kinds of dimming. You will need to show different kinds of scenarios, color lighting sometimes, and so on. And then security, you need to show it. You need to have some kinds of sensors, camera, or maybe some cameras, maybe door entry device with card to access, and so on. And then AC, you will need to show how to do it, because if you are in a GCC region, especially in this region, you will need to show AC control at least. And then sensors and automation, and then app control, also voice control. So all this should be used in your project for sure. If you do not use it, or if you do not have it, then think about this. And for example, if you would like to not to have sensors and automation, then your home automation just becomes controlling lights, AC, and some security. And if you do not show security, most clients, they will think that this is like too easy and light level system, so you do not have enough functionality. So level 2 is you have the same, but you add music and you add blinds and motors control. So on level 2, this becomes better, much better, because you can do a better presentation after that. And then level 3, this is level 2 together with music and blinds. And on level 3, you will also have home appliance like vacuum cleaner, coffee machine controlled through your system, and something like this. And then home theater. Home theater is a very nice function. Not a lot of installers, they can afford it, but this really brings you money, because on many projects I see that home control is like costs 5 times less than home theater control, and like client really enjoys to have this kind of special room with special functions and with very expensive equipment which he will have there. Okay, so home theater, this is if you can afford it and if you want to earn money on this. Okay, do not forget to show then control elements. Show different control elements, but do not forget to show HomeKit. HomeKit is maybe one of the most important right now, because almost all clients, they have it in their smartphones. So once they have this home application and it's not working, they're not glad. So in their future home, they would like to have it working. And this is like 100% move when you want clients to understand that he needs automation in his home. Okay, do not forget HomeKit. And then you can add additional AV control. So you can add like some third-party devices. For example, you can add Control 4 to Larnitech. You can add RTI. RTI is recommended. So client can have like the separate device to be able to control his audio video things, and this is much easier to use than, for example, a smartphone or an iPad if you would like to control, to select movies on your screen and then you would like to move forward and so on. So the special remote which will give you some additional functionality, is nice in the showroom. And now let's move to the atmosphere. Atmosphere is maybe most important. So there are 3 layers of lighting which you need to use almost everywhere. So if you are not familiar to light design, you may not know about this, but you should remember of 3 types of layers. First one is ambient, like light which is all around. So this just gives you enough level of light in the evening so you do not like hit yourself on furniture. And then you have task lighting. Task lighting is, for example, above your table. When you eat or when you do something, you give this additional lighting. And then, most important, accent lighting. Accent lighting is additional lighting which is sometimes not needed, but if you want your project to look fancy, you need accent lighting. So one of the advices to create the atmosphere, the first maybe advice, is use more accent lighting. Accent lighting is something with light strips. Accent lighting is something which gives you the rays of light directly to somewhere and not all around. Okay, so this should be like more spotlight than floodlight. Okay, and so on. So you can see the typical interior which uses quite a lot of accent lighting. So this slide, for example, has only this part lit. So it just lights not everywhere, and you have enough of light, but the room is moody, and the moody is another word for atmosphere also. Okay. The next one is use ambient music. So when client comes, you have some maybe not loud, maybe very quiet, but music which gives you some ambience and some mood also. So light and music together, they make this. And there is also the third very important part: scent and aroma. Use aroma diffusers. You can use, if you have, for example, not a big showroom, you can use simple aroma diffusers from Rituals or from Zara, I don't know. So just do not forget that the aroma is the thing which is being used in all expensive stores. So once you come to any expensive store, always there will be this expensive aroma, which once you feel it, you remember about this brand. So you can use it. You can use this very strong thing, which gives your showroom a different feel. So once you use all 3 together, you use accent lighting, you use music, like background music, which gives you some feeling, and aroma, you will have this atmosphere about which we talk about. To know where we're going, you should think about spa salons. So if you have been in any kind of these places, you remember what happens in there. So you enter and you want to chill, you want to have, like, you want to relax, and you start doing this because of the atmosphere, because of accent lighting, because of aroma, and because of music which is playing in there. So the most simple way actually in your showroom to play the music which will give the mood, you just search like spa salon music and you have it as background music. Okay, so once client enters, he feels good. Let's continue to technical backup. So how to ensure that your showroom is really working well, and when client comes, it will work. So you should, of course, prepare in advance. and you should have dedicated and responsible person. The real problem is that once you come to the showroom, you usually expect that it will work as before, but it will not work as before. Something will not work all the time, because a lot of people doing a lot of things around this showroom, and you never know what happened in there unless you have a special person who will have his responsibility before the client comes to prepare everything. This could be any person, this could be salesperson, this could be like general manager, or this could be yourself preparing this showroom all the time before you meet with the client. This could be the best, actually. So if you are, or someone is responsible for the showroom, then it will work well, because this person will check this before client comes, and he will ensure that IP connection is working, that no Wi-Fi has changed, that electrical connections are not disconnected to test something, and so on. So about testing, also second important issue. Once you have some kind of a smart equipment in your office, everybody tries to use it, to practice, to connect something new, because a lot of engineers in store office, and these engineers, what they try to do is they try to connect these devices, test how they work. They are very glad after it works. They disconnect and go away, but this spoils every time the showroom functionality, because they will change the buttons, they will change user interface, and some not used devices will remain in user interface. So do not use the showroom to test new equipment. Okay? And then important thing is that the most unreliable thing in the office or in the house as well is internet. Internet now 99% everywhere available, but when it really stops working is when client comes. So almost everything, like most things, they should work locally. You open the application, and even if no internet, then you do not show maybe some things. You maybe without internet will not be able to show some remote control, voice control, some notifications. But other things like wall panels and sensors and scenarios, you will be able to show to the client even without internet. So these three main things you should prepare in advance, and you can make a checklist. So do I have the responsible person? Yes. Do I not allow for other people to use testing equipment in this place? Yes, I do not. And then will it work without internet? Yes, it will work on this level. Move forward. Now this scenario of effective meeting. So you will have the expected result. You need to have the expected result first. Yes, if you are like sailing across the ocean, you don't know where you are sailing, then you will not come anywhere. You will not finish your journey. So you will need to keep in mind why you are doing this. You are having expected result. The client who gives you money, this is the expected result. So you keep this in mind all the time, and then you have this scenario which you can maybe edit for yourself. So it is important that you do not start directly from the demonstration itself. Okay? You need to have the connection with the client. Actually, always start with a small talk. It is very important, because how our mind works. Our mind needs at least 20 to 25 minutes to switch from one situation to another one. And client was in one situation, for example, he was driving to you, he was talking about his job and many other things. But now he is here, and you try to get him into this situation, into this atmosphere. And he really needs to download it to his brain and unload everything else about 20 minutes minimum. So you start from small talk, you talk about different things, maybe you do not waste, of course, client's time. If he does not have time, you maybe just have few words, but anything will help him to be closer to you before the demonstration. So start from small talk without any getting to the job and to your desires to get money from him, for example. Then say something good about them. So like it could be a small compliment, like wow, what a nice glasses, or like watches, or car, or I don't know, anything. Like client should be thanked also for something. So you should thank you very much for coming today at least. Or maybe thank you very much for bringing this question up, because this is very important. So you thank him, you say something good about him, about them, because it could be like the whole family or just the wife, which is more and more the main client for home automation. And person should feel your warmth, should feel your positivity. This is very, very, very important. And then once you talk, you need to find common grounds. Common ground is like something you can talk about and which will be interesting for them, which would be interesting for you as well. And he will feel that it is interesting, and then he will understand that you are a person who understands him. So common ground. For example, you also like golf, or have you seen the weather report? What a crazy thing. Yes, impossible hot or something like this. So at least small common ground should be found. So this is all before the presentation, which you should talk to client about. And then he's ready because he's feeling you, he's now trusting you, and you are ready to go to the presentation. And the presentation and the scenario should follow serious fun cycle. If you look at any movie, if you look at any show, you have this serious fun cycle, because serious one gets you something to think about, and then fun part when everything is like blowing and you can look at this and just feel it, and then serious again, like some deep thought or something like that, and then fun again. Because client, not client, but any person will be very tired if you just go serious all the time, or you go fun all the time. He will be fired. He will be very tired about all this. So try this cycle and start from serious one. And the most serious one in home automation is security. So you start about security, and client understands you are a serious guy, which is speaking about serious questions. So what you do is you start about passive security and go to smoke alarm, and this is how this works. And these are additional functions which we give to smoke and fire alarm, which would not be available if you just had a normal fire sensor. And then you go to gas water leak and tell him that passive security, what it is. So passive security is essentially something which works 24/7, like all the time. It works for many years because you need always to monitor these sensors. And then some critical values. For example, the temperature in this place is too hot and temperature in this place is too cold. Or maybe there is a water in this place which should not be. So some critical values also important. And then you talk about notifications, how you receive all these notifications, and you show him. For example, you get the sensor, you put it in the water, and you get notification, water leakage in your smartphone. So this would be enough for a client about passive security. There could also be some other things which you can get to your mind. And then active security, and you explain what active security means. So it works sometimes, sometimes not working, sometimes you only need it after something happened, and so on. And you can show zone arming. For example, the typical example is client lying in bed and wants to get the arm for security on all other floors except the floor where they are sleeping. And then motion doors, windows, how can we detect if they are open or closed? And then we can have surveillance and show client surveillance and things around camera feeds, and that you can have them in the same application and you can see them remotely and so on. And then access control, so you can show them intercom or door entry intercom, how it works, how you call, how it works remotely, and so on. So then you go from serious to fun, because lighting and like everything moving, like blinds and motorization, is the fun for his eyes, for his brain. So after serious talk about security, you goes to like more funny thing, which he also usually would like to have. So you go to lighting, you show him scenarios, like you do not turn on each lamp and every time trying to get your mood in this room, a new mood. So like 5-10 moods are possible for a big living room, for example, where a designer has created a lot of lights. So you show him scenarios and schedules, like something working day, night. And then you show him types of motorizations, like you can show it on a screen, for example, in the presentation, or you can show in the showroom itself. And then motion and light level automation, you show them. And also dimming and color or temperature changing, and ways to control all this. So you show him, and this is actually quite a lazy exercise, and the client just has fun because this is like a candy for his eyes. And then you get to series again, and the series is AC control, and you can start from showing him ways to control, like from which places you can control AC now, from smartphone, from wall panel, from thermostat, from outside of the house, and with voice, and so on. And then scenarios like whole house to this mode, or whole house to night mode. Night mode goes for schedules. And then energy saving. Energy saving is going about, for example, we get the system to security mode, and then all ACs go to energy saving. And how this works like this. And then you also have service options, and service options means that once you have a high level VRV system for the AC, you can have cool automation controller, which is compatible with our system, but you will not only be able to control it, installer will also be able to remotely service it. So once you need to change the filter, or once you have the problem on this part, you will really have this information in the special place. So service options is a really nice thing for more expensive air conditioners, which you can offer using our products, because we distributors for cool automation, and you can use these controllers as well as Larnitech. And then you go to fun again. You get to music and media. So you were serious, you were like talking about some technical issues and technical stuff, and then you just turn on music, and you give ways to control music. You show client like AirPlay, and you open your Apple Music or Spotify or Deezer or Tidal, what he does, and you show him how to send it to the music system. And then if you have enough of hi-fi devices in your showroom, you will be able to show some hi-fi experience. And hi-fi for some people is very important, and they pay much more money than even for home automation for it. So if you can have some Sonos fiber, I don't know, or maybe at least Magnat, or some other types of hi-fi elements in your showroom, this would be very important, and some clients, they value it. And then cinema mode. Even if you have just TV and light and blinds, you can show cinema mode. So you turn on TV and the blinds are closing and light goes off, and then he feels like he's in the cinema. So the better showroom devices you have, the better cinema experience you can offer. And then also show some color music. This goes like surprise for quite a lot of clients. So this is also a nice function which you can use. And then you go to serious again, and some serious facts about health. And you, at this moment, you showed almost everything in your showroom, and this is like almost the end of your demonstration. And you speak a little bit about really important stuff for all people living anywhere. You talk about humidity, which is like what kind of humidity is good, and between 40 and 60%, because if higher than this, if lower than this, if you sleep in the place with low high humidity, this happens, and so on. And then you start talking about CO2 and measuring the CO2, like if it is too high, what happens, like what is the normal level of CO2, like what kind of CO2 is on the street and right now in the room, and what will happen if you are more than a few hours in this room, if CO2 is high. And then you go to lighting temperature. So this is not air temperature, this is a different lighting color, which can be different temperature, like more cold in the morning and more warm in the evening. And why is it like this? You should speak about circadian cycles and biodynamics and things why light temperature should maybe change if you have evening time. So then you go from the health to something next, but during all stages you use arguments why smart home is better than non-smart home, of course. So during all stages, and what stages do we have? First stage is security, second stage is lighting, third stage is AC, and then music, and then health. Yes? So you showed almost everything, maybe everything which you have. And on every stage, and every of these 5 stages, you speak about why smart home is better, and sometimes this is inside the talk. So you speak about how smart home is more simple to use. Because you would not have like 5 different panels, you will have one touch panel where everything is easier. And you will not have a lot of buttons. You will have like a relax button, and you press. You do not need to use 10 groups of light. You just press this one button, and so on. And then it is the economy of resource. So you just use less resource. You use less electricity. You use less water. You use less cold or hot water, and so on, if you get the automation. For example, guys from Cool Automation, they tell me about how in the whole building they connect the Coolmaster, and only this connection, the automation which exists, not doing anything but exists, is getting you 15% less waste of energy than before. Because now you have this connected. Now if you have problem, you will not waste water on it. You will just get the notification and will stop it, and so on. So on a building level, you can get 15% economy just by connecting automation, not even doing some scripts or programs about this. And then you go to higher security. Like all the time, a little bit you can tell about here security will be higher, and for your children it will be better in terms of security and so on. And another thing is better health, which you've been talking about already, but you can start talking about this on a security part, and then on a lighting part, and then a music part. So all of this can go to the health as well. And then you let them try themselves. Because once you have it in your hands, this is completely different from when you watch. So once you do something and it gives you result, this is what needs to finish their experience. So their experience is not to see all this. Their experience is to try and imagine themselves living in the house like this. So let them try. Actually, only few functions, only very simple functions, not all functions. And then give them simple instruction. So you press here and this will happen. So he presses here, this happens, enough. And voice control as well. So do not close your HomePod or Alexa or what kind of voice will you have. Do not close it to your own voice, like give client an ability to tell something and this will happen, and it will give some additional wow factor. Okay? And then this is not where we stop. This is where his experience stops and the sale begins. So what you do is you make a quick quotation, like, now let's discuss your project. What kind of rooms do you have? We have these rooms and so on. What inside these rooms do we have? And so on and so on. So make a quick quotation to the client. Okay? So then you show some of your project photos, because client needs to have some reference and to understand how you do your projects, and documentation. And you can use for this, you can use our draft projects, which are actually much easier to understand than big projects, official projects. So what you can do is you can have living room, bedroom, some kinds of kitchen and children rooms and other places connected, and client just understands that this is more simple than he imagined, and you do it in a high quality. This is what he needs to understand. So your main target is to explain why to buy from you, because he already wants it, for example, and he needs to understand it, why not to buy it from others, like 10, 20 companies, which gives you same description for smart home, but from you. And you will need to explain him this. And you will need to explain that, for example, once you do the good smart home, they are never the same. For example, for example, me, when I looked at many projects by different companies using, for example, the same protocol and the same equipment, they all were different. So if you get, for example, Larnitech equipment, and you get 10 companies, and all 10 companies using the same, installing in the same apartments, they all work different. So actually you need to bring it to the client that the most important is not what kind of equipment you use, I'm sorry, because I represent equipment, but really what is important is the installer itself. So 10 different installers, they give you 10 different results, and you need to show him that your result will be best. Okay? So now we are almost there, and a little bit about Larnitech Showroom Kit. So we have quite a lot of companies making showrooms, sometimes for designers, sometimes for building developers, sometimes for themselves. And during all this, we decided that this would be like the minimum basic showroom which should be used. So Metaforce CSM with 24 inputs, 8 inputs for temperature, with 12 at least outputs, 16 amps each, and then 5-in-1 sensor, or maybe 6-in-1 if you want to upgrade it, and media point for some music and voice functions, and touchscreen. So this is like minimum which you can get from us, and then you can add your showroom to it. So this is what it's going to look like. So we have our devices, and we have lights connected. So for example, 3 groups of lights, they are connected to 3 channels of this Metaforce. And then you have ACs, and AC uses 4 more channels, like 1, 2, 3 speed and 1 valve. And then you have 2 channels for blinds control, channel 8, channel 9 for example. And then you have lock. So once you have a lock, you will be able to show the access control, the open door with voice function and other things. Okay. And then from the other side, inputs, like what can you get from inputs part? You can show switches with different kinds of icons, for example, and then additionally to our 5-in-1 sensor, which will have humidity, temperature, motion, light level, and infrared control. You will have maybe some kind of a certified fire or smoke detector, which you can show, and if it has the dry contact, then you will be able to connect it. And then water leakage sensor, and then temperature sensor. So you can connect it together with the AC and they work better. And then some music, and then some voice control, and maybe HomePod or HomePod Mini like here, and some smartphone control. So this is typical showroom connected to our showroom kit. And then if you cannot go to cannot get the client to your showroom, what you need? There is a demo case. So the demo case is actually the showroom with a little bit of different kit inside, but with quite a lot of functions already connected. And to get a demo case, to get a high quality demo case, is not so easy, because you will need to show all these functions, so everything should be connected, like all these lamps, all these light strips and so on. So when do you use the demo case? If you do not have the separate room. So if you have just the option to show client in some smaller rooms, or maybe go to client, then you need it. If you already have a showroom but without Larnitech, and you want to have a Larnitech part already connected, so you do not want to have a separate corner or something like this and change your showroom, and you want just to have some Larnitech automation to test it, to check it and so on. And then if you visit to client, then you will want to show him the user interface and how everything works fast, and how you control remotely, locally. And when you visit to client, the demo case is actually very good. And then if you want to practice, it is sometimes like more expensive option, because demo case is like the whole showroom, but in a very small place. So if you want to practice immediately without like mounting all this, then demo case is better. And if you want to test new devices, so this is it. This is when you want to have your demo case. Also, one more reason, if you want to have a training for new employees, the demo case is also nice. No matter if you have training for sales employees or for technical employees, for both of these types, this showroom demo case will work very well. Now let's look closer to the demo case by Larnitech itself. So this is the most new demo case, but actually the one which we have and the one which you will see on a photo is already not the latest one, not the one which is being sold. So this is the one. This is the internals of demo case, and I have it in here. So this one. This is the one from which the photo is, so I took this photo. What we have here is, we have here Metaforsa and 6-in-1 sensor, not 5-in-1, 6-in-1 with CO2. And we have media point, DWIO device to control different things around here, and also SW24 device with these LED for switches and for connecting of LED switches, and some music speakers. So we have here light, dimming, color, and running light. This one is running light, so this is addressable LED strip. And then security functions, because you can use these switches to monitor, like if door is open or close, if windows open or close, or if water leakage happened. So one of them is like you turn and water leakage, and you get notification everywhere. And also another one is motion, another one is open, close the door. And then music functions, and you can use AirPlay with this media point, you can use it together with security, and you can upload some music on it, you can use internet radio. It works very easily. And then some sensors which you can see, and not only this 6-in-1, you can also use this temperature sensor in here and this temperature sensor in here, so you can touch them and you can show client how fast the temperature will go up and how fast our sensors work for temperature. And also you can use control elements, so you can use this kind of switch, and you can use smartphone, iPad, and so on. So what is very important about this case is you do not need additional elements with it. You just get the battery. It is battery powered. So you get the battery for it like 20,000 milliamps, I think. And you connect it and it starts working with music, with everything. So Type-C. Or you can have just a Type-C connector with power, with a normal socket. And it has a Wi-Fi router inside. And this Wi-Fi router gives you immediate connection to the network. And like once you have it on, after a few seconds, you will have the Wi-Fi available. You connect locally. And if you want internet connection to show remote, to show voice control, and so on, you have this Ethernet, or it will try to connect to your phone. So if you open the access point with the name and the password, as we say, it will go and connect through your phone to the internet. So you are in client's house and you will be able to control it remotely, and you will be able to use voice control even if you do not have a wired connection for internet. Okay, so you do not need a SIM card, or you do not need this USB stick for routing or for GSM or 4G, 5G. Okay, these lamps, they show you just on off, and then we have here the lock, we have the jalousie open close, and we have up down for rollets, I think, in here for blinds, and we have 4 channels of dimming. So this and this are dimming, and this one is the RGB amplifier for this one, and this is a running light. So DWI-O has all these connected, and some of buttons connected, and so on. So this is actually quite nice. Also you have the bus down here connected, 2 points to connect your devices, so you can show to your employees or maybe to potential partners how it works with plug and play. It's how we usually do. So right now we have a new version of this one already with 4-inch touch panel. So to the left and here we have also a touch panel 4-inch, and all this is a little bit moved right. So right now this demo case includes the case itself and the power battery and 4-inch touch screen which is inside, and the price of it was announced recently by the factory is almost 9,000 dirhams. So this is the price without any kind of margins from our side. So this is just everything which is inside and the cost to produce it. So it is quite feature rich, and I think this is most feature rich case, demo case, which I have seen of any smart home demo cases. So this is the lowest and final price for dealers. It will never have the retail price or something like this. So not possible any discount from this one, unfortunately. This is just the price of equipment which is inside there, and bringing it here, just paying VAT and things like that. Okay, so this is it. We have the webinar almost over. Where to learn more? Again, after each webinar, I remind you that you can go to our website and you can select training, online training, and you can go pass it in there with some small test. And what to do next? You can, if you do not have Showroom at all, you can use our application which is framed in the website. So what you can do here is you can press select room, bedroom for example, and then turn on light, and the light in bedroom will turn on, and then control blinds or curtains, and then simulate water leakage and some other things. So you can have the demonstration on the website, and what you can do is you can insert this demonstration into your own website. So we can give you the source, and you will just get it inside your website as a frame. So that is why it is called frame application. So once you need this link, we will give you. And do not forget about our managers, Yegor Lapkov and Gulam Gos, and they are ready always to help you and to get a BOQ for you as fast as possible. So once you have any kind of project, please get the information to them. They get you the BOQ which you can show to your client, so you can have your own profit inside and you can just sell it faster. And once again, until 15th of June, we have the offer for this showroom kit, which I just showed. And what we also would like to remind is that after the 15th of June, it will change, so it will be a different one, probably more expensive one, and so on. And these are almost over, so we have a lot of people bought it, and I hope a lot of showrooms will appear in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah during next couple months. Thank you very much. This was it. I hope this webinar was useful for you. Now, as usual, question answer time. If you have questions, I will just wait a little bit in here and I will answer once you want me to ask something. I see question in our Telegram group. Is there any software we can make design and make like demo show? I actually don't understand what does it mean. So which you can design, make design and make like a demo show. You mean maybe you mean something which is on our website. Or maybe, yes, what you can do is you can have a demo in our application. So in our application you can go and press demo when you connect, and then you will have a demonstration user interface of the application. Okay guys, thank you very much. I hope it was useful again. Once again, we have webinars every Thursday for newcomers and introduction webinar. Every week the same. But every Saturday we have these closed webinars for only our partners. So every Saturday we help you sell with these webinars. See you guys in Telegram chat. Bye bye.